Well, I think my advice is more for the people coming in how.
When you look at the flow that we've seen with Solana, the BSOL, Bitwise did a great job.
Hey, future millionaires, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here again. I hope you're crushing it today, no matter where you're watching from around the world. Today, we're diving deep into XRP, and I've got something really important to share with you. I came across this fascinating insight from Crypto Basic that I just had to break down for you guys. They're talking about why stablecoins, despite all the hype, simply cannot replace XRP when it comes to cross-border payments. Now, this is huge, and I know some of you might be thinking, wait, what about stablecoins? Aren't they supposed to be the future? Well, stick around because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about this. Okay, so here's the debate that's been heating up in crypto lately, and I need to address this head-on because it's getting ridiculous. There's this whole crowd of people saying that stablecoins are completely stealing XRP's spotlight. Basically, they're arguing that we don't even need XRP for cross-border payments anymore. But here's the thing. David Schwartz has already shut this down multiple times, and for good reason. Think about this logically, guys. Every single stablecoin is going to need what's called a bridge currency. Why? Because here's reality. Other countries simply aren't going to accept the digital dollar. They're not going to roll out the red carpet for the digital euro either. It's just not going to happen. Now, don't get me wrong. Stablecoins are definitely having their moment right now. Everyone's talking about them because they're pushing this whole digital asset revolution forward. But here's how I see it. Stablecoins are basically the training wheels of crypto. Right now, we're getting banks and traditional institutions comfortable with using stablecoins. But once they're in the game and see how this all works, they're going to naturally transition to using actual cryptocurrencies. And that's where XRP absolutely dominates. XRP gives you on-demand liquidity, it's faster, and it's way cheaper than using something like RLUSD. But here's the real kicker. Even when institutions are moving these stablecoins around, XRP is still going to be essential because it acts as the trust layer. XRP can literally move anything of value, and that's what makes it irreplaceable. Now, this is where things get really interesting, and I think you're going to love this connection I'm about to make. BlackRock's head of crypto, Robbie Mitchnik, definitely gets what's happening in this space. And when I heard what he said recently, it got me thinking. So check this out. When Robbie starts talking about Bitcoin being digital gold, I couldn't help but wonder, was he actually describing XRP instead? I mean, think about it for a second. Let me play this clip for you, and I want you to listen carefully. As you're hearing his words, ask yourself, does this sound more like Bitcoin, or does it sound exactly like what XRP actually does? Here we go.
Well, I think my advice is more for the people coming in how they approach the space. I think it's very important to be discerning and to be very particular about which assets one is going to hold, right? There's a reason Bitcoin is still roughly 65% of the market cap of the space because it has very clear product market fit and investor narrative and a big addressable market as this digital gold-like asset. There's a reason there's consolidation in a lot of the rest of the market cap in a few top assets, which is those are the handful that have really proven themselves and developed some degree of product market fit and economic utility. One has to be very wary going far down the table. There's hundreds of thousands of crypto assets out there today. The vast majority of those are or will be totally worthless. And so investors have to be careful around that. And they also, I think, should be wary around trading on a short-term basis. Certainly, short-term levered basis is a tough game a lot of times in the crypto space. And I think the people who've done the best in this space have taken a much more long-term fundamental view and understood that you have to be patient and you have to understand that there's volatility in the space and there will be cycles.
All right, so there were some absolutely golden nuggets in that clip that I need to break down for you. First off, and this is huge, he's basically telling us the winning strategy here. Don't get caught up in all the day trading madness with XRP. Instead, you buy it, you lock it away somewhere safe, and then you just wait. That's it. Because here's what he knows that maybe some people don't. That massive breakout is absolutely inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But here's where it gets really spicy, and this is the connection that blew my mind. He's talking about digital gold and Bitcoin, right? But get this, Robbie Mitchnik used to work at Ripple. So when someone with his background and insider knowledge starts talking about digital gold, don't you think he might know something we should be paying attention to? Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite for your YouTube voiceover. Now here's something that's been bugging me, and I bet you've noticed this too. BlackRock can never, and I mean never, talk about XRP directly. Have you picked up on that? It's like XRP is the forbidden word in their vocabulary. But here's where things get absolutely mind-blowing. This comes from Smoke, and you guys need to hear this connection. Remember, XRP is the real digital gold for banks. And get this, former Ripple CTO Stefan Thomas put it perfectly. He said banks will essentially have gold that they can teleport into any vault anywhere in the world, instantly, using XRP. Think about how insane that is. And this isn't some new revelation either. Way back in 2013, XRP's marketing brochure literally described XRP as gold in your hands, designed to be the most liquid token on the entire ledger. There's even this documented paper called Teleporting Gold that breaks down exactly how XRP solves bank liquidity issues under Basel III. It reveals Ripple's master plan, that banks will eventually use XRP once the liquidity reaches the right levels. So here's the kicker. Robbie Mitchnik definitely knew all of this during his time at Ripple. So why do they keep pushing the Bitcoin narrative instead? And did you catch what else he said in that clip? Most cryptocurrencies are going to zero or near zero. Sound familiar? Brad Garlinghouse said the exact same thing. 99% of crypto will disappear. Lehman Baird from Hedera? Same message. Brad even warned that regulations could be a black swan event because of this massive shakeout coming. But here's the thing. BlackRock simply cannot mention XRP publicly. Why? Because there's definitely an NDA between BlackRock and Ripple that's keeping them silent. Latest XRP escrow move sparks speculation. So first of all, they're talking about 4 million XRP unlocked from escrow at unknown wallet. All right, guys, I need to clear up some major FUD that's been floating around because people are getting the wrong idea about what's actually happening here. So there's been talk about an escrow unlock happening mid-month, and immediately people are jumping to conclusions. But here's the truth. Ripple had absolutely nothing to do with this. Zero involvement. XRP Ledger Sleuth, and these guys track every notable transfer on the network. They've explained exactly what went down. The tokens were locked and then unlocked at something called Flare Core Vault. Now, let me break this down for you because this is actually pretty exciting stuff. The Flare network is this blockchain project that works hand in hand with XRP and other assets to enable smart contracts. Pretty cool, right? Core Vault is basically the backbone of the F-asset system on Flare. Think of it as a liquidity hub for assets like XRP that don't normally have smart contract capabilities. It's bringing XRP into the DeFi world through Flare. Here's how it works. It holds underlying assets like XRP that are deposited by agents, and these assets back what are called F-assets. So it looks like this unlock could be for minting more FXRP, which is actually bullish. But of course, the FUD spreaders immediately started with, oh look, there goes Ripple dumping on the XRP community again. Come on, people. Here's what frustrates me. People just don't understand what these escrows are actually designed for. They're not dumps. They're meant to bring more utility to XRP, not less. Okay, this next story is absolutely wild and shows you just how bullish some people are getting on XRP right now. So get this. The founder of Tradeship University, Cameron Scrubs, just made a move that'll blow your mind. This guy literally sold his McLaren today to buy more XRP. I'm talking about a freaking McLaren, people. And here's what he said about it. He's had this car for well over a year, but he'd much rather have that same value sitting in XRP instead. Now that's conviction. But wait, it gets better. He's so confident about where XRP is headed that he said, and I quote, "I will print a free McLaren by the time we hit all-time highs." Then he drops this question that's got everyone talking. Do you see my simple math? I mean, think about that for a second. This guy is so sure that XRP is going to absolutely explode that he's willing to trade a luxury supercar for more tokens. That's the kind of confidence that makes you stop and pay attention. And you know what? Cameron's not the first person to make this kind of bold move, and he definitely won't be the last. Have you guys noticed this pattern? Because I've been watching this for years now, and it's like clockwork. Every single time crypto is about to absolutely explode, and I mean every time, something interesting happens. The Lambo dealerships, they suddenly want to accept Bitcoin. The Ferrari dealerships, oh, now they're all about taking XRP and Ethereum as payment. It's like these luxury car dealers have this sixth sense about crypto bull runs. They can smell the money coming from a mile away. One minute they're skeptical about digital assets, and the next minute they're rolling out the red carpet for crypto payments. It's actually pretty genius when you think about it. They know exactly when people are about to have life-changing money, and they position themselves to capture it.
Now, we've definitely seen this kind of bold move before. People trading their luxury cars for crypto isn't exactly new. It's happened multiple times over the years during different market cycles. But here's what's different this time around. And this is what's got me really excited. They're going all in specifically on XRP. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not some random altcoin. XRP. That tells you something major is happening behind the scenes that these smart money players are picking up on. Listen, I'm going to be straight up with you here. XRP is hands down going to deliver the best return on investment in this entire crypto space. And when it happens, it's going to absolutely shock everyone who doubted it. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. People's minds are going to be completely blown during this run. We're talking life-changing money here, folks. You know what I predict? We're literally going to see grown men break down and cry tears of joy when they look at their portfolios. I'm talking about people who've been holding through all the FUD, all the lawsuits, all the waiting. They're finally going to get their payday. And it's going to be bigger than anything most people can even imagine right now.
Hold up! This is huge news that just dropped, and I had to get this out to you guys immediately. We've got not one, not two, but 5 spot XRP ETFs that just appeared on the DTCC list. I'm talking about some serious heavy hitters here. CoinShares, Franklin Templeton, 21 Shares, Canary Capital, and Bitwise. These aren't some random companies either. These are major institutional players making moves on XRP. When you see names like Franklin Templeton stepping into the XRP game, you know something big is about to happen.
Guys, this is it. It's looking like those ETFs are definitely going live by the end of this month. We're talking just weeks away. I am beyond excited to see what XRP is going to look like heading into December. I have this feeling we're about to witness something absolutely incredible together. You know what? I've been waiting for this moment for so long. We all have. All those years of holding through the uncertainty, through the legal battles, through all the FUD, it's all been leading to this. We're finally about to enter the most exciting phase of XRP's journey, and I couldn't be more pumped to experience it alongside all of you future millionaires.
You know what's crazy? I actually started this channel during one of the darkest times in crypto history. Right in the middle of a brutal bear market when nobody wanted to even hear the word crypto. Remember the FTX crash? Yeah. That nightmare was happening right around the same time I launched Future Millionaire. Talk about bad timing, right? But here's the thing. I knew even back then that we were building towards something massive. Every video, every piece of analysis, every moment of staying bullish when everyone else was running scared. It was all leading to exactly where we are right now. We've been through the worst of it together, and now we're finally at the moment we've been waiting for. All that patience is about to pay off in a huge way. And speaking of what's coming next, Steve McClurg, the CEO at Canary Capital, just dropped some insights about their XRP ETF that you absolutely need to hear. This is going to blow your mind. Check this out.
When you look at the flow that we've seen with Solana, the BSOL, Bitwise did a great job getting that one out on the ground, and absolutely crazy numbers. One of the best performing ETFs that we've seen so far, especially in digital assets. How do you think these XRP ETFs will perform against that?
Yeah, I actually think that XRP will probably double what Solana did in its first week and even today, as far as volume and as far as total AUM. If you just even look at the market caps of the two tokens, XRP is about 50% higher than Solana. Yeah. But the difference is, and we experienced this with HBAR last week or 2 weeks ago now, the HBAR ETF experienced $70 million in inflows just in the first 3 days. And it's because it's really well known among institutional circles and enterprise investors. Yeah. So even though it's not a big retail product, it doesn't have a ton of volume, it's got the right kind of interest. And that's how XRP is. Solana is probably a little bit more of a retail token. XRP is much more of a financial services, enterprise, institutional token. And when you put that into an ETF, even though it's only 50% more market cap, it'll probably be 100% or 200% more inflows because of the institutional audience.
Did you catch what he just said? The institutional money is coming for XRP, and we're talking massive amounts here. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. He's not just expecting the XRP ETF to do well. He's expecting it to completely crush the Solana ETF. We're talking about doubling the inflows that Solana saw. Think about that for a second. Solana had some pretty impressive numbers, but Steve McClurg is sitting there confidently saying XRP is going to do twice as good. Why? Because they can already see the demand building up behind the scenes. This institutional money that's been sitting on the sidelines, it's absolutely massive, and it's all getting ready to flood into XRP. These guys have inside knowledge of what's coming, and they're positioning themselves accordingly.
And here's what makes this absolutely game-changing. We're not talking about retail investors like you and me buying a few $100 or $1,000 worth of XRP. This is institutional money with millions and billions ready to pour in. But wait, it gets even better. Scott Bessent just announced something that's going to change everything. The US Treasury and IRS dropped new guidance today that basically gives crypto ETPs the green light to stake digital assets and distribute those staking rewards directly to retail investors. This is huge, guys. You can see that not only the Treasury, but even the IRS is getting their ducks in a row. They're preparing the infrastructure because they know what's coming. And here's what's really exciting. Going forward, it's all going to be about staking. We're finally getting the tools and options we never had back in those brutal 2022 and 2023 bear market years when crypto looked completely dead in the water. Remember when XRP was just stuck sideways for what felt like forever? Man, it would have been amazing if we could have staked our XRP back then and earned more tokens during that whole waiting period. But you know what? Better late than never. And honestly, the timing couldn't be more perfect for what's about to unfold.
All right, guys, here's something that's flying under the radar but is absolutely massive for what we've been talking about. Global banking systems have a hard deadline coming up, November 22nd, and they have to migrate to the ISO 20022 financial messaging standard. No more delays, no more excuses, it's happening. This has been dragging on for years with banks kicking the can down the road, but now they're finally being forced to make the switch. And guess what? This is exactly what we've been waiting for.
Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, oh great, here we go again. They're just going to delay this like they always do. But listen to me carefully. This is not getting delayed anymore. November 22nd is the final, absolute deadline. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is happening whether the banks like it or not. And here's where it gets really exciting for us. Check out what this article specifically mentions. They're talking about ISO 20022 friendly cryptos, and guess which ones they list? XRP, XLM, HBAR, IOTA, ALGO, QNT, and XDC. These are the digital assets that are perfectly positioned to integrate with traditional finance systems. This isn't some random speculation. This is official recognition. Guys, I'm telling you, ISO 20022 is going to be a way bigger deal than most people realize. We're about to witness firsthand how this compliance standard is going to absolutely impact the price of these cryptocurrencies. And remember, this is all happening by the end of this month. We're literally weeks away from one of the biggest shifts in financial infrastructure history, and no more delays are possible.
All right, before we wrap up, I've got some political news that could actually impact our crypto future. This comes from Eleanor Tourette. Former U.S. Senate candidate Johnny Deaton just announced he's making another run, this time to unseat Senator Markey in next year's midterm elections. Now, Markey is 79 years old and has been in Congress for over 5 decades, first in the House, now as Massachusetts' junior senator. But here's the thing. He's considered anti-crypto. This guy voted against the FIT 21 Act and pretty much every other pro-crypto initiative that's come through Congress. Johnny Deaton? Total opposite. He's a pro-crypto lawyer who ran against Senator Warren in 2024. Yeah, he lost by about 19%, but he told Eleanor he believes this race against Markey is going to be completely different. And for those of you who don't know Johnny Deaton, this guy is a legend in our community. Remember all the incredible work he did for the XRP community during the Ripple versus SEC case? He was fighting for us when we needed it most. I would absolutely love to see him win in the midterms and get a real crypto advocate into Washington. But listen, whether that happens or not, big things are coming for XRP, and I cannot wait to see how we look going into the end of November. I'm telling you guys, I think we're about to witness a completely different XRP very soon.
Until then, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together, future millionaires. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you. I'll catch you in the next one.